Oops. And welcome in to Kimberly Ann's Kaleidoscope YouTube channel. Welcome back. I'm continuing on with the previous video of looking into your own toolbox. And continuing on with this, and it's about discovering your strengths and your purpose. And sometimes, other people, back up here, can see the gold in you before you can even dig it up yourself. Pay attention to what folks naturally come to you for. Is it for good advice? Or a strong shoulder? Or maybe you have a knack for fixing things. And look at what makes your heart ache. Your burden is often connected to your blessing. And God uses our holy anger or deep sympathy to guide us. If seeing a lonely neighbor hurts your heart, your strength might be hospitality. You know that song? But don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, I just don't think it understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, it might blow up and kill this man, woman. Why? Because it's talking spiritual. If you hear it, this is talking spiritual death of the selfish flesh, being born into the spiritual, loving, giving, humanitarian purpose in service, right? Can we see that and hear that in a spiritual note, in a spiritual sermon? God laid that upon me the other day, and I wrote it down, this stuff. And it's about, test the wood before you build. You don't know if a house can, house. You don't know if a horse can pull until you hitch it to the wagon. So try new things in yourself, in your own personal life, or new things in the church, new things in the neighborhood, or even volunteer or teach a class, feed the hungry, So you gotta, I guess, put yourself and try these things. I've done these things in my younger years through the church I was in and in a youth group. Did all these things quite basically. Was put or set myself into serving. And you will find out real quick what you are built for. And here's a question for y'all. If you want to leave a response in the comments, would be fantastic. What is one thing you've been scared to try that might help someone else? Think about that. I guess because I was helped. And I wanted to help others. And I did. I helped other gals that were in the abuse shelter with transportation because I had a car, and I drove them here and there and places they needed to go and I needed to go to, and went out to eat. We helped each other with our kids, and we just became friends, and helping one another, I mean, I helped with having the vehicle, people needed transportation as far as moving their stuff out and getting it into their apartment. And so I would say, sure, and so they load stuff up into the station wagon in the back part, and what I could haul, and take it over to their apartment, and then they can, so I helped them with that. And just as others have helped me, willingly, just naturally. It wasn't like pulling a tooth. It was naturally, just did it. You just did it. You didn't be like, no. It was a natural giving and doing and back and forth kind of thing. And that's just the way my DNA is. It's just who I am. And honestly, isn't that a better way to be? In my opinion, it is. Accepting people. I can't make you believe in something if you don't want to believe in it. But that don't mean I'm going to despise you or not talk to you or not treat you kind or kindly or treat you real, I believe in being nice, I do. I believe in trying to communicate in a nice way. Because let's face it, is it worth getting into trouble? Is it worth getting violent? And then getting all, you know what I mean? We're not kids anymore. We're adults. And I'm talking to adults. 18 years old and up. Okay? And we have to be wise, and we need to think about these things. It's not about being big and bad. Who are you trying to prove that to? Yourself. I'm not trying to prove that to anybody. I've been through that era. I've been through that fad, if you will, in my younger years. what was 16, 17. Even then it was like rolling off of me. Because, you know, going through school and high school and then, you know, you're out into the real world and that don't fly, you know what I mean? So and besides that, I know I didn't want to ever be taken advantage of, put it that way, or mistreated. But unfortunately I was. And it all had to do with relationships and love, which wasn't love at all. But anyway, getting back to this and moving on, the good stuff. You stop fretting and chasing. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It comes a turning point in your life. And that's what did take place with me. You stop fretting and chasing. I ain't chasing nothing. I ain't chasing you or anybody. I'm not chasing people. You quit trying to grow corn on a rock, you know? Because it ain't gonna grow. When you know your strengths, you stop wasting energy trying to be someone else. You get content in your own boots. Yeah. And this is what it taught me, honestly. Okay, all those years, I was doing what I wanted to do. I was being who Kimberly Ann is. For the most part. Except for a relationship that I should have let go of. Or never even gotten involved in, honestly. Well, none of them really, but it happened. I will say the last 2 relationships I should have never tolerated. Not even though I wasn't. Never mind. We won't go into there. But anyway, so deep in the steady current, deep peace is what I was getting at. In the steady current. It feels like, you know, rowing down river, fighting the mud upstream. So do you want to row downstream with the river, with the flow of the river? Or do you want to keep fighting the mud to go upstream, going against the current? You see? So working in your strengths brings a supernatural joy, even when you are tired. Your soul feels rested. Excuse me, and that's right. And you become a better you. A good fence needs strong posts. And a good town needs different gifts. When you shine your light, the whole porch gets brighter. Your strength fills a gap that someone else just might be praying for. Now remember this then, friends. Before you walk down the steps or go out the door or wherever your thing is for your day or night, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be available